legacy of excellence. That's the theme under which the reunion is being held. It's a powerful reminder of who we were. We spoke about that just briefly before we started officially. Who we are and the legacy we continue to build together as proud alumni of SMA, a school that shaped our lives, instilled values of discipline and excellence, and connected us in bonds that time and distance cannot break. Tonight marks an important step as we continue to build momentum towards October. Whether you're joining us from the Nature Isle of Dominica, the Caribbean, North America, Europe, Africa, Asia, anywhere across the globe, this is your call to action. Yes, you are cherished alumni. We need you on board. That celebration train. So let's come together and honor our shared history, celebrate our present connection, and inspire the future generation of SMA. The committee has been hard at work, planning a meaningful week filled with activities that will rekindle memories, strengthen friendship, and reignite that true SMA spirit. This evening, members of the committee will share with you some of these planned activities that we will be looking at and will be participating in. So here's what we need from each one of you. Again, those listening via the various social media platforms, register now if you haven't already. Spread the word. Reach out to classmate friends and those you have not seen or heard from in years. And most of all, bring your energy, your story, and your SMA pride to this reunion celebration. Again, remember that date is October 11th through the 19th. Whether near or far, you are part of this incredible legacy. The class of 74-75 is merely the host, and it is open to all, I repeat, all SMA alumni. 44 days to go and the countdown has officially begun. You must be counted. Let's make history together. Let's honor our legacy, the past, the present, and the future, and let's get ready for a celebration like no other. Thank you for being here tonight, guys. To all of you here and to those again listening, stay tuned, stay connected, and stay SMA strong. Let that countdown begin. As we move into the program this evening, some of you may still be lingering in your mind with the question, why should I be a part of this 2025 reunion celebration? It is now therefore my distinct pleasure and honor to introduce to you two of our former teachers, mentors, and also SMA alumni, Mr. Ray Harris and Mr. Patrick Henderson. First of all, to bring warm greetings, but more importantly, to share with us why they themselves believe that such an occasion is worth celebrating, and why every SMA alumni listening to us this evening should be a part of this historic occasion. So without further ado, I will now invite our SMA alumni and former teacher and mentor, Ray Harris, to address us or to give brief remarks, followed by former class teacher and also mentor, Patrick Henderson. Mr. Ray Harris, Brother Ray Harris, Mentor Harris, take it over. You're muted. You're on mute. Unmute. Oh, let me see if I can unmute you. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, go ahead now. You should be able to unmute now. Go ahead. Right.
O my Christ, increase my love for thee that I may serve thee better from day to day. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable to you, O Lord, and my Redeemer. Mr. Chairman and members of the St. Mary's Academy Reunion Committee, the principal and teachers of the SMA, Brother Jermaine, and all former principals and teachers that God has blessed with long life, friends, fellow alumni, good evening. This evening, I would like to give a shout out to all alumni of the St. Mary's Academy, wherever you may be you within our beloved Nature Island, Dominica, or elsewhere. because we know that with the foundation you received at the St. Mary's Academy, you are making a positive contribution to your community, regardless of your professional or career path. The St. Mary's Academy has produced a plethora of talented and outstanding alumni. Their professions and career paths are vast, spanning fields such as healthcare, doctors and pharmacists, law, lawyers and judges, security, science and technology, construction and engineering, agriculturist, business, industry, marketing and finance, education, culture, song and dance, arts and media, sports, authors, public service and community workers, trade unionists, and we certainly cannot forget politicians and some revolutionary spirits as well. Some alumni have not only been highly acclaimed and recognized within Dominica and regionally, but globally, with our school's motto, Ora et Labora, pray and work, ingrained in our hearts and minds. We cannot go wrong. Obviously, life will always throw up some obstacles and hurdles, which merely strengthen our will, our resolve, and our commitment. With prayer and work, success is guaranteed. Although the initiative for this 2025 reunion was taken by the class of 1974-75, and they should be highly commended for this. This reunion, which is scheduled from October 11th to the 19th, should be embraced and actively participated in by all alumni. That is, all former students and graduates of the St. Mary's Academy. It is the first since the inception of St. Mary's Academy, which began in 1932. That's 93 years ago. This 2025 reunion gives us the opportunity to reflect with pride our alma mater. And we as alumni must look back and celebrate who we were in khaki short pants, who we have become, and the unbreakable bonds that connect us all. We will never forget the lessons learned within and outside the classroom of the St. Mary's Academy. Also the friendships and shared experiences that help to develop our characters and lives. This reunion is a milestone event and is an opportunity to honor the legacy. It is posited that we should use this reunion to unite as alumni, from young men to accomplished, mature men who are making a difference in Dominica, to the region, and the world. Our journey and stories, although varied, all began at the same place. The shared foundation is a source of pride and is worth celebrating with the present and future generation. As we celebrate this reunion, we obviously look back and with nostalgia, that is. But it is also of paramount importance that we look forward together to ensure standards are not only maintained, but improved. This is also an opportunity to rekindle friendships and to work together as a family, to support the alma mater. Hence, let us come together to celebrate our journey and to remind Dominicans and the world that we are forever connected by the honorable educational institution, the St. Mary's Academy. Before concluding, it would be remiss of me not to mention my one-year teaching stint at the St. Mary's Academy prior to going to Cayville, Barbados to study law. That is when I first met and taught Mr. Alvin Thomas, Mr. Joseph Geist, and Mr. Sobers Esprit, these three distinguished gentlemen who have benevolently referred to me as one of their mentors. I'm indeed humbled by being referred to as a mentor. I will merely say that I am thankful to the St. Mary's Academy for having given me the opportunity to teach these three gentlemen, as well as many others during that year at the St. Mary's Academy. During that year, I taught English in Forms 1, 2, and 3, and I was also sports master, and I coached the cricket and football team. I therefore blended academics, sports, nurturing the best, to the best of my ability, that is, discipline, classroom instruction, and sports leadership. I always endeavored to inspire the students to excel intellectually and physically. English was not a problem to teach in the lower form because when I was a student, I was known to excel in elocution and debate. As regards these three gentlemen, I'll refer to them as the Trinity, who are in the forefront with others at organizing this reunion. I do remember them fondly. Alvin was not very troublesome, at least not in my class. Joseph was fairly quiet and well behaved. But I remember Brother Sobers Esprit as quite energetic and troublesome, but a very likable young man. I'm very impressed at all of them and how they have developed, but even more so, Brother Sobers, who has become a Caribbean development specialist and undeniably has made a great impact on our cultural and community development and continues to do so up to this day. Because what would our nation be without our culture? Brother Joseph Geist went away, so I lost track of him for a while. I had a great deal of interaction with him, not only in the classroom, but as a sports master, having coached the cricket and football team, and he was an excellent, outstanding cricketer and footballer. It was a pleasure to coach him. Incidentally, SMA won the second division cup in Dominica that year. A team that had the likes of not only Joseph Geist, but Clifford Bala Sellet, Herbie Hector, Alfred Solomon also became an island goalkeeper. Young Christopher, Coffee Alcid, referred to as Long Coffee, and Gifford Walsh and others. Unfortunately, my brother Coffee recently passed away. God bless his soul. And so did Gifford Walsh some years ago. Likewise, it would be remiss of me not to mention a few other things about the St. Mary's Academy. Because winning the second division cup may sound like nothing, but you better believe that was quite an accomplishment. Because although I played for the St. Mary's Academy football team for years, and I played with many great players who all went on to make the Dominica Island side, we never won the cup. We once played for the knockout cup, but went down to Kensborough United. Some great footballers, sorry, I'm getting some feedback. Some great ballers that I was blessed to play with and alongside, and I would love to name them. They deserve mention, honorable mention. Oliver Grell, Scotland, Scotty. Randy Aaron, Alec Charles, Sylvester Soames, who also was a great Calypsonian caterer, Norman Dorival, and Joseph Kentish. All these guys I just named went on to play for the Dominica Island side. All of them. And I will venture to say that Joseph Kentish was the best footballer I ever played with. And he came before the legendary Clem John, who was also a great athlete, great sportsman, great cricketer, great footballer, who also has SMA roots. It would also be remiss of me not to remind you that the St. Mary's Academy was the basketball headquarters of Dominica for many years. We were the first with a court with floodlights. So we dominated for many years. When Martinique Guadeloupe would come to Dominica to play at the St. Mary's Academy with huge crowds. We also used to have boxing matches with people like Gordon Henderson and Mark Murray doing preliminary rounds. But you can't talk about basketball without remembering some great names like Benoit Sorrendo, Macford Zamore, Patrick Henderson, who is there right now. And we cannot talk about basketball without the superstar Bernard Kiwi Thomas and Charles Roberts, a great ball handler and a three-point shooter. I think it would have been remiss of me not to mention that St. Mary's Academy wasn't just a place for academics, but it produced tremendous athletes and sportsmen. I will now come back to Brother Alvin Thomas. Alvin Thomas made rapid strides after leaving SMA. And we met at Fort Young many years after, when he was General Secretary of the Public Service Trade Union. At that time, we had gone to Fort Young to resolve an impasse in Dominica when the Dame Eugenia Charles Freedom Party government tried to enact the Public Service Act. There was a strike, and rubbish in skips were burning in Roseau. Thank God, within a week, the government team and the trade union team, under Alvin's leadership, resolved the issue to the satisfaction of Cabinet. Thereafter, I drafted the changes to the law so that the Public Service Act, which we still now use, was enacted. Incidentally, the trade union's lawyer was Mr. Anthony Astaphan, SC, and the government team was Mrs. Jennifer Astaphan, Mr. Kerry Harris, and myself. Now back to the task at hand. On behalf of the chairman and members of the St. Mary's Academy class of 1974 reunion committee, I not only invite you, but encourage every former student and graduate to participate in the SMA reunion. Please note that the reunion is not limited to the class of 1974-75, but to all former students and graduates of the SMA. As the marketing officer of this reunion, Mr. Geese, indicated, even if you are not here physically, you are invited to register and be recognized as being part of the reunion, and therefore you can go to the St. Mary's Academy class of 1974-75 Facebook page, where there is an online registration form. You can also email the address smaoldboys7475@gmail.com for information and assistance in registering. Thanks for your patience and love. Blessings, love, protection in these unique and trying times that we live in. to each member of the alumni family, as well as to their families and loved ones. Love, thanks for your patience.
All right.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
that
Thank you
Ray.
very much. Thank you very much, Ray. Mentor, teacher, thank you so much for this
Historian
strong
too.
and inspiring comments coming from you. We'll now move on to our second mentor and former teacher, Mr. Patrick Henderson, to give us some brief remarks and say why he believed that we should be all part of this historic occasion. Over to you, Patrick.
Thank you, Alvin. And I will be brief. I think Ray covered so much that I'll be repeating some of the things that he said if I were to elaborate. So here's what I will do. I will say, first of all, I want to thank the team for taking on this initiative. This is the first for SMA. I hope it's the beginning of something new, something where SMA alumni are beginning to reconnect in a very meaningful way, and that it can be sustained over an extended period of time to not only complete the renovation of the building, but to continue to support SMA as it continues to grow. For me, and St. Mary's Academy plays a very pivotal role in my life. I'm from Grand Bay. I'm not from town, and we travel to town almost every day to school. This was taxing for us also, but through it all, we persevered. Myself, Bunty, Augustus Centilla, a whole bunch. I can't mention all of them, but we traveled every day on Tokyo, coming to school, stayed in town all afternoon, and then got home and still had to do our homework. As difficult as it was, we did it pretty well. And I ended up in 1969 being asked to be a teacher at SMA in replacement of Justin Simon, who had gone to UWI at the time. So Ray and I taught for a while. Ray and I were in school together, so we are school buddies. So Ray did 1 year, I did 4 years. And it was thanks to SMA that I was able to go to Iona and continue my education. And I must mention that I was there during the transition from the turbulent period when Brother Estrada was the principal, and the break in school, in the continuation of the school year, and then the arrival of Father Felix. I spent a year with Father Felix, and I left in 1973 to go to Iona. I lost touch with many of the guys, but I did keep in touch with some. And I must say that guys like Edmond Tavernier, Crispin Gregor, Crispin and I have been in touch forever. Sobers, although we had lost touch, but I think when I came back to Dominica and I got into the NGO community, I met Sobers again, and he was the PTA, the other PTA was the Eastern Caribbean Popular Theater organization. They did a lot of good work on and around the island, and I wish that work could have continued, because the stage we are at right now, we need them more than ever. So Sobers, I don't know what can be done about this. This initiative it reconnects all our folks, and I'm hoping that I can remain in touch with many of you. Mr. Gist, I know I had not seen you for a long time, but it was nice seeing you again. I had lost touch with you. Alvin, I have been seeing every now and then. Who else was on the committee? I'm trying to think of the other guys on the committee now.
Damian Dublin.
Damian is my dentist, so I
Glenn,
see him.
Etienne, Glenn, Linford John,
Okay.
Victor Luis.
Most of these guys, Victor Luis, I don't know where he is right now, but I remember seeing him once or twice. I am back and forth. I'm in Dominica. I'm in the United States. Right now, I'm in Dominica. I do spend the summers down here under hurricane. And so I do keep in touch with those folks over here. So just to be brief, I want to just say again, thank you for the effort that you are putting into this thing. I hope that it sustains over an extended period of time. And whatever I can do to be of assistance to you to the cause, I'd be happy to participate. Although, let me just say also that I will miss the actual functions starting on the 11th, because that's the day I go back to the United States. But that's okay. I'll be following it.
All right. Thank you very much, Patrick. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thank you for your kind words and your support, your commitment, and we know we can depend on you. So before we move into the activities, we have two ladies with us. And one of those ladies taught us at SMA as well, taught at SMA. We have Rose Keynes LaRocque and Francine Harris with us, and also Brother Jermaine. So I'm going to ask Rose to give a few brief remarks, going back, taking us back in times, as they say. And then I will have Francine to give some brief remarks as well, followed by Brother Jermaine, of course, and then the youngest kid on the block, which is Miguel Murphy. I will have him give his perspective as well. Miguel is very active in helping to maintain that SMA legacy. So Rose Keynes, over to you. Let me see if I need to unmute you.
I unmuted.
Okay, great. Okay, go ahead.
So thank you for the opportunity. I will make it, brief. I think a lot has been said that's very profound. I taught at SMA 1974, 75, 76. And it was a time when Dominica needed an language arts teacher. There was a shortage. So my time was split between Convent High School and SMA. As I look at where you guys have journeyed, I see you guys have played out the thought that it's not what you learn, it's how you can transfer what you learn. And you guys epitomize the transfer of knowledge. Language arts is not just about stories. There is a deep and profound learning in those stories that can carry through life as you make decisions, choose your careers, and of course, follow your motto from SMA. So even if I was a very short time with you guys, I think there was some deep learning going on. I am very proud of what you guys have become. I am proud that I was part of that journey, as brief as it is. And I have to say that you make me, on a personal level, and you should make all Dominicans should feel proud of the things that you have accomplished, where you have gone, and where I see you are going. So thank you again for the opportunity.
Thank you, Rose. Thank you for those kind words. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Francine, you want to come in?
Yes, good day. Thanks. I'm very happy indeed that I have joined to come in to listen to what you have to say. It was very interesting to me when I heard from my brother Ray that you all were having, having this evening, because, as you know, I had 6 brothers. Ray was the last one, and he's the only one who went to the academy. I guess in the beginning, most likely there was no SMA. But
he was the smartest man alive, the smartest man alive.
But he was the only one who went there. And I went to the convent. But indeed, being a sports person myself, I used to attend many of the basketball matches you all had at the SMA and thoroughly enjoyed it. The only other place that started to have lights at night to watch sports was at the police station in those days. So that's my input into the connection I have with the SMA. I'm very proud. My Dr. Hamlet, who also went to SMA, he's in Toronto. He's my doctor, And he did tell me he went to school with Ray. However, I think he's a couple of years ahead because he's older than most of you. If you graduated in 75, he probably graduated prior to that. So indeed, when I was listening to what both Ray and the gentleman who spoke, I was thinking, wow, yeah, maybe up in Toronto where I'm living, we indeed need to have something like that for the convent. And Ray, a lot of what you said, I think I will just copy exactly what you said and change it. It was excellent. Okay, so I'm very happy I was able to join in.
Thank you, Francine. Thank you. We'll be happy to work with the convent and to work with you, providing the template whenever you're ready to move forward with that.
Yes,
because SME Boys, Convent Girl was right next door to us, you know. And even if some of us may be living in a different direction, we made it our business to walk towards the convent school to get to our destination. And so, yes, there has always been that that close connectivity between the SME Boys and the convent. And I would just say to the other school, like, you know, if
I'm not mistaken, if I'm not mistaken,
sure.
I think Convent High School had a reunion sometime last year, 2 years ago.
Right, I think so. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so there's been something along that line. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's in Dominica. So up in Canada, I'm the president of the Convent Alumni of Ontario. So if you send it out, I will send it out to
Sure.
that I have contact with up here.
Yeah. I'll connect with you, Francine, after the meeting. So let me move on now to Brother Jermaine. Brother Jermaine, you want to unmute? Sure. Okay, go ahead, Brother Jermaine.
Yes. Well, I began as I was a graduate of St. Mary's Academy in 56. In 58, I became a teacher. Not only a teacher, I was sports master, I was a coach, and also player, because teachers were allowed to play. In 61, I went to the United States and I became a brother. In the 70s, I came back to Dominica, and I came back at a time when things were extremely difficult. Discipline was down and everything like that. And I knew I had work on my hands, and I did my best to do what I could to improve the situation in the school. I also think that I did probably something that seemed impossible, and it was the building of the new wing, because I was told that that was never going to happen when the thought came up. But with the assistance of a lot of people, the brothers, our schools, and so on, we were able to come up with the St. Mary's Academy New Wing. And as a result of that, we were able to educate many more students. I'm not going to be very, very long because I've heard so much from the others already, but the legacy of St. Mary's Academy is just cannot be compared with, it's just unbelievable. I want to commend Alvin and the committee for what they have been doing, and I hope it will be successful. I pray that it will be successful. And if we put our thoughts together, if we work together, remember, St. Mary's Academy is not only solid, smartest man alive, but it's also solid man of action. And if we put these things together, success will be in the end. That's about all I'll say right now. So,
Thank you very much, Brother Jermaine. Thank you very much. Thank you for all the work you have and you continue to do on behalf of SMA. It's now for me to quickly turn over to Miguel. And Miguel to give some brief remarks.
I'll be brief. Thank you, Alvin. I'll start by saying I was fortunate to spend my 5 years at the Academy, graduated in '98 under Brother Jermaine's final years as the principal. And my dad is also a graduate 62. I was fortunate as well to attend alongside 3 of my brothers, 2 of your sons, Alvin. My cousin Jones Murphy is also an alumni. So it runs deep in terms of just a legacy of the academy. But I'm privileged to, serve in the capacity of chair of the marketing committee over at the St. Mary's Academy Alumni Infrastructural and Development Fund, established in 2024 after the call from the current principal, Mrs. Sylvia John Baptiste, to really put our hearts and minds together to raise much needed funds, almost $200,000, to renovate the Brother Egbert Jermaine Wing, which
US, 200,000 US.
Yes, which I was fortunate to start in my final year in WA4. And that's one of the classrooms that's off, or the classroom that's offline. So this initiative of helping to really renovate the roof over the long run is near and dear. Tying to this initiative, I'm not class of 74, 75, but Alvin, coming from this group, it really means a lot to be in the company of your peers, because I feel that I can transcend back really more now to the 70s, right? Some 25 years back, and really get some context from there. I know the school was established in 1932, April 4th, 13 boys, but right, 9 decades is a lot. We're getting close to 100 years. And I want to say we're getting there. And I want to see this, I think, is a good catalyst, right, to really get us together. We've raised some $20,000 US in the last year. And some just highlights of what we've done over at the fund is we established a 501c3 here in the United States. I'm located in the United States, South Florida, Miami, to be exact. My profession is a higher education leader. A specific role is around student engagement and community partnerships, enrollment management for the largest college in the United States. That's Miami-Dade College, where I've been for really since I've graduated, so some 30 years. And had the privilege halfway through that journey to join Brother Jermaine, who also spent some time here in Miami. So I think I got an extended SMA experience after I graduated, relocated to South Florida, and still had the great fortune of seeing my principal for an extended period of time. With personal experiences, Brother Jermaine, we've gone to Tampa on road trips. We've done a lot of local things just for the Dominican community here back then, and that is something that I will continue to carry forth. So we've done some local convenings on island with the school during Carnival, bringing back the alumni. We've done local convenings here in South Florida, broadcasted worldwide, with connecting the dots with partners like DBS Radio and some of our alumni. We've contributed immensely to the recent graduation by ensuring that all recent graduates, the last class was 50 or so graduates. We want to say 90% of them, we have their contact information. So it's not a mystery in terms of how to keep in contact with the new boys. We have so much of a strong relationship with the most recent graduates that we know even the top 4 that came out on top from the academy and CSEC are connected to us. And that, for example, Dylan Regis, Joshua Paul, the former head boy, with literally 8 ones and a 2. So right, so we feel that we as mentors can continue to support the new group And I want to say that the fund and my generation help sits in the middle of, I would say, the spectrum to connect the past to the present and to help the new alumni to thrive. And so we're also connected to the 4-H club at the school. In fact, next week I'm going to be on island joining for the opening of schools, the assembly of the new boys, some 70 of them, welcome them, and on behalf of the fund, alongside alumni present, and to also encourage them to engage during the reunion, right, in October, as much as they possibly can. And at the fund, we're putting together a robust calendar of initiatives around alumni, and we're proud to join in this group in ensuring that everyone is aware of the activities and to support all that is done. So those are my brief remarks, Alvin. But I'm really privileged to journey alongside you in at the St. Mary's Academy Alumni Infrastructural and Development Fund, and to join in the company of this esteemed class of 1974-1975.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Miguel, for your brief remarks. And as Miguel indicated, we are registered now. We have established a 501(c)(3) in the US. And it's the St. Mary's Academy Alumni Infrastructure and Development Fund Incorporated, and that over the last 12 months period. So that is quite apart from the reunion initiative that's been undertaken now. And I am privileged to serve as the chair of that board for that foundation in the US. Miguel is a board member as well, and several others. Renick is also part of that, Renick Thomas, part of that committee. And hopefully we'll open it up and extend it, but that's the kind of work which we want to encourage moving forward for St. Mary's Academy. We'll now look at the activities, just go through some of the activities. And as we indicated, the period runs from the 11th to the 19th of October. And of course, the 11th is a Saturday. That's when folks begin to arrive. Some may be arriving a little earlier than that, but most of the folks will be coming in on the 11th. And that is where you have a little mingling like we did tonight. Folks hadn't seen each other for the last 50 years, 40 years, 30 years. So you can imagine what kind of experience that is going to be like. Not having seen someone you sat in a classroom with 50 years ago. So it's going to be really, really nostalgic. It's going to be exciting. And that's on the 11th. On the 12th, which is the Sunday, we are starting with prayer. As you know, St. Mary's Academy, we are prayerful students. Remember, we have to go to Mass every month. Thursday of the month, we put our black pants and we have to go to Mass and do all the good things, ora et labora. So we'll be having a Thanksgiving Mass at the 9 o'clock. That is going to be at 9 o'clock in the morning. And as you all most of you might be aware, the dean of the cathedral is Father Karam, Nigel Karam, an SMA old boy himself. So he'll be gracing us with his presence at that Mass. Hopefully the bishop may be in attendance as well. My understanding, he may be off island, but if he's there, of course. And persons like the principal, Brother Jermaine, and several other persons that know will be there. To date, as we speak, and that Luis and one of the committee members will speak a little more directly to that. I think we've had officially 26, if I'm not mistaken, registered so far. And the numbers are growing. I know some of us are last minute people, and we are hoping coming out of tonight's initiative that more folks are going to jump on board. I see Franklin Moses is there with us. And before we end the event tonight, Franklin, I'm sure, will give us a spiel, and we'll continue providing that spiel on our behalf, himself and SMA Old Boy. But that is what's going to take place on that Sunday. Following that Mass, that Sunday morning, we'll have a brunch. And that will take place on the SMA grounds, and the SMA staff and PTA are coordinating all of that. And let me say, all of the proceeds that comes from any and all of the activities, the brunch and the other activities that you'll be hearing about, go straight into this project to deal with the roof development of Brother Egbert Jermaine Wing. I will also report to you very briefly that as we speak now, we have an application before the government to establish